Hello everybody, this is Ghost Hunter 385. I'm back with more Kirby and for everybody. So, let's get into things here, shall we folks? Let's see. And into the Warp Star we go, up, up, and away. Whoosh! Love that Warp Star. Alright everybody, there's not a lot of chit-chat in the background for me to make comments about, so let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is cartoons, the state. Let me just put this straightforward for everybody. Modern cartoons, they just are terrible. Now, I can already hear some people saying, no, they're not, they're inclusive, and blah, and it makes other people feel good. And my answer to that is that's nice, but, you know, it's nice and all that they're trying to do more character concepts. I will say that in a fair amount, but I grew up in the 90s. Now, everyone who's a 90s baby remembers, what did we have growing up? We had Pokemon, Digimon, as a little bit of start here. But the one thing that was the Saturday morning stuff. What did you watch the rest of the week? You actually sat there and watched the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and including the Tex Avery cartoons like Tom and Jerry. Up, there we go. But in any case, we watched the older cartoons that were really, really old. If you had told me as a kid that the Bugs Bunny cartoons with Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam, Marvin the Martian, Taz the Tasmanian Devil, all of those cartoons were made around World War II or before, I wouldn't have believed you. Nowadays, I'm shocked. Those cartoons aged well into the 90s. Now, there'll be those who sit here and say, those cartoons were not that great. When you're a kid, trust me, you learn to enjoy what you have. And it was always really funny for me to sit there and watch Bugs Bunny get one over on Elmer Fudd or Yosemite Sam, or even Taz, and yeesh. If you can't tell, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the screen transition and stuff. There's there's one of the lanterns right there. That's part of this. Part of the getting the Waddle Dees right there. I think I missed the first one, folks, but I will point it out to you later, I think, if I can get back to it. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble here, but I digress. The thing that I'm going to say here is that those cartoons were funny. Now, I can already hear people arguing that, no, they weren't, and it's like, dude, it's slapstick comedy. No one gave a care. Now, are there cartoons that are... There's another lantern for you, folks. Now, are there cartoons out there that, needed to be... what's the word I'm looking for here? That were not shown? Yeah, because they didn't exactly they weren't exactly good for everybody, but, these are cartoons. They're meant to be funny. They're meant to be silly. I mean, it's almost amazing to me that I would rather... I would rather sit there and watch the old Tex Avery. I keep saying Tax, it's actually Tex Avery. And what was it? Was it Warner Brothers? No, it wasn't Warner Brothers. What was it? I said it earlier and I keep forgetting. What was it? Acme? Yeah, Acme. The Acme studio. And I really enjoyed those cartoons. They were funny, they were slapstick. You know, there was nothing like hearing Daffy Duck saying, "You're despicable," or hearing Elmer Fudd, "That rascal, you wabbit," or that Yosemite Sam sitting there saying, "Ooh, I'm gonna get that varmint! Pow, 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 pow!" You know, those cartoons made my day. And who could ever forget when in the cartoon they sent Bugs Bunny to the moon and Marvin Martian was there and he was going to blow up the Earth because he couldn't see, what was it, Venus? Yeah, I think it was Venus, that he couldn't see Venus. And Marvin was sitting there going up to this weird device with a lighter, and it's, "Ah, yes, my Q-32 space modulator. With this I can blow up the Earth. That annoying Earth creature has stolen my Q-32 space modulator." And, you know, for me, that was awesome. You know, they weren't, you know, had the newer animation, that some of the newer stuff that came out. What was that show called? It wasn't, it was with the dog that, I forget the name, but every time the dog got called a bad dog, he would roll over and be like all paralyzed because he got called a bad dog. And I forget the name of the show, but you know, that one was funny too, because you had this dog running around that wasn't a bad dog. It's just that he was a boy's dog, and you know, the boy wasn't really disciplined, and neither was him, and neither was the dog. But you know, the dog was there to be funny. I mean, then, you know, you go from there. I mean, you know, first episodes of SpongeBob, Courage the Cowardly Dog. A lot of these shows had their stuff, well, not their first stuff, basically their pilots done in the late 90s. I can still remember the SpongeBob pilot. I still remember the pilot for Courage the Cowardly Dog. And the best thing about that is that when they actually made the Courage the Cowardly Dog a show, they even did an episode that went back to the pilot. It was awesome. It was amazing. We don't get that anymore. No, I can already hear some people saying that, you know, Nickelodeon still does cartoons and stuff, and it's like, yeah. Has anyone noticed that almost everything nowadays is at least semi-woke, or that the commercials are just terrible? Let's investigate a quick minute. Nope, nothing. Okay. But, you know, they keep putting up these commercials about inclusivity and how this is everybody's that, and it's like, you gotta be kidding me, right? Can we just let the kids be kids, for Pete's sake, here? I mean, come on. Who here can honestly sit here and say they didn't enjoy the antics of Bugs Bunny? I mean, that was hilarious. Not to mention the fact that he kept getting things over on Elmer Fudd. I mean, my favorite episode is when Elmer's hunting Bugs, and Bugs is sitting there giving Elmer Fudd his shot. Bugs puts an apple on his head, puts the blindfold on, and yes, he did put a cigarette in his mouth. Not gonna sit there and, you know, keep talking about that, but he did that. And, you know, he takes the drag off the cigarette, and, you know, I know nowadays everyone thinks it's appropriate, but it was like, you know, last man, you know, if this is going to be my last day on Earth, you know, take what you can get. And I'm going to leave it at that. But Bugs sits there, is standing there. You hear the bang! And Elmer Fudd hits, what was it? What was it on the opposite side of that river? What was it? It was a house or something, or a barn. I think it was a barn. But, you know, Elmer Fudd goes bang! And barn basically gets destroyed. Bugs walks closer. Puts the blindfold back down. Bang! What was it? Like an old storage shed or something? That old storage shed collapsed. Bugs Bunny basically walks, you know, like 10 feet in front of Elmer Fudd. Bang! The big tree on the other side of the river falls. And what does Bugs Bunny do? He puts on a pair of painted black glasses on Elmer Fudd, and he puts a sign on him that says like blind or something. You know, it was slapstick comedy. It wasn't meant to be rude or anything. It was just meant to be silly. It was meant to be funny. And a lot of cartoons nowadays are not. The only thing that even comes close to the hallmark is SpongeBob. And that show's been on Nickelodeon for now well over... chicken in the grass. I'm wondering if that's a Castlevania reference to the turkey in the painting, or the turkey in the candle. But anyway, I digress. Where is comedy going with kids shows? I don't even like turning on modern cartoons for my kids. Teen Titans Go, I grew up watching when they did the original Teen Titans that they never finished. Loved that show. Was awesome. It was great. Ooh, I missed a light. I guess I'll have to go back and get that. But we are near the end of the video, folks. I really appreciate you watching. I thank you again. Hit, what should I say here? Oh, yeah. Bleh. Sorry, it's been a minute. I apologize in advance, but if you like what you see, hit the like button, bang the bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, and here's a little bit of B-roll for everybody. I went back and got the lantern for you. See you next time, folks.